Event in television, Super Bowl Sunday, January 30th on ABC.
Ever feel like you and your copier are all alone? Image Technologies is locally owned. We're here with network digital copier printers, faxes, and postage meters. With Image Technologies, you're never alone. Image Technology can't improve.
Missouri. The Razorbacks are led by veteran guard Keith Wilson. He's the only senior on the squad. A squad with some great youngsters like Lee Mayberry and Todd Day, a prolific scorer out of Memphis, Tennessee. Both McDonald's All-Americans. But Missouri has a pretty fair freshman of their own. His name is Anthony Peeler, out of Paseo High School in Kansas City. But it's the veterans that lead the Tigers, like Byron Irvin, a transfer from Arkansas, and Doug Smith, the Motor City Madman. It's Arkansas and Missouri tonight on USA Sports. On the campus of the University of Missouri. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Apple, along with Dan Belwamany. The Tigers and the Razorbacks tonight. Missouri comes into this game ranked 11th in America. They are highly regarded, and I know, Dan, that Nolan Richardson had some concerns about them tonight.
Well, I really think Nolan's got a lot of concerns, Gary. He feels he's really going to have to control the tempo of the game. Utilize that 45-second clock. They're going to have to give Missouri one shot, rebound it off the boards, and no turnovers, no easy baskets, because Missouri really comes at you with their full court press.
Missouri does have 3 losses on the year, but they've all been to quality opponents. They have lost to Syracuse, Illinois, and North Carolina. But on the other side, Norm Stewart concerned about one very important thing.
Well, the one thing he's concerned about is too many turnovers. They turned the ball over 24 times in the half-court offense. So when they get down there, he wants them to pass the ball effectively. 2 marquee players they have in Byron Irvin and Doug Smith, 2 big-time players. They'll have big games and an offensive rebounding machine, this Missouri club. They're a very good basketball team.
All right, one player who will not play tonight for Arkansas, Ronnie Curie. All-Southwest Conference a year ago, but he's been suspended for the year. We'll talk about that at length as the night goes on. Stay with us. We'll be back with the starting lineups in just a moment. Tonight's game on USA is being brought to you by, on the campus of the University of Missouri, the Razorbacks and the Tigers. Let's go now to public address announcer Chris Trevino for tonight's starting lineups.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another night of college basketball at the sold-out Hearn Center, home of the University of Missouri Tigers. Tonight, the Tigers welcome to Columbia the Arkansas Razorbacks. Here are the starting lineups. First, for Arkansas. At forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Columbia, Tennessee, number 42, Larry Marks. A 6'4" junior from Dallas, Texas, number 24, Lindsey Howell. The center, a 6'9" junior from Kansas City, Kansas, number 55, Mario Credit. The guards, a 6'2" freshman from Tulsa, Oklahoma, number 11, Lee Mayberry. And a 6'3" senior from Fort Smith, Arkansas, number 12, Keith Wilson. Now the starters for the Missouri Tigers. At forward, a 6'8" senior from Washington, Missouri, number 42, Mike Sambodi. A 6'10" sophomore from Detroit, Michigan, number 34, Doug Smith. The center, a 7'1" senior from Belleville, Illinois, number 52, Gary Leonard. The guards, a 6'1" junior from Detroit, number 4, Lee Coward. And a 6'6" senior from Chicago, Illinois, number 21, Byron Irvin.
from Columbia. We'll be back with the opening tip in just a moment. One senior at the bottom of your screen, number 12, Keith Wilson. The freshman, Lee Mayberry, very highly regarded out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He'll start along with Mark Howell and Credit in the pivot. We'll see Oliver Miller early for Arkansas. On the other side, Smith, Sandboni, Leonard, Coward, and Irvin. We are ready to go. Smith and Credit will jump center. And the Tigers control. This is the junior, Lee Coward, out of Detroit. Smith now. Back to Coward for three. And we've got our first whistle, and I believe it's on Mike Sandboni.
Yeah, I think it was away from the ball that time. Sandboni going for the rebound. Picks up a foul, and Arkansas started in a zone. Looked like the little matchup zone, trying to give Missouri some different looks. You know, there's a lot of keys to this game for the Razorbacks, but they really need to shoot the basketball. They need to control the clock, run their offense, but hope the ball goes down when they get it up there.
Down low now to Credit, little scoop shot. And the Tigers will try to run. Knocked away by Mayberry. This is the freshman out of Tulsa from 10. And our first basket of the night.
Good steal that time by Mayberry. Good transition, shot the open shot.
Irvin, of course, transferring from Arkansas to Missouri, hoping to have a big game against his former team. That's the senior, Gary Leonard, and a lot of NBA scouts think that he may be a #1 draft pick.
Well, Leonard's got a real advantage in there at 7-1. I really look for Missouri to get the ball around the basket, try to power it in. This is a dominant rebounding team.
Wilson from three, in and out. And here come the Tigers again. Smith, the big guy, leads the break. Out of bounds, off Lindsey Howell, the transfer from San Jacinto, one of the great junior colleges in America.
Yeah, in fact, San Jacinto, if you take a look at Nolan Richardson, but San Jacinto went something like 64-3 in the 2 years he played there, and a lot of those players from that club have moved on to play with other programs. I know Las Vegas has picked up a few, and University of Texas has picked up one, so a lot of players from San Jac have gone on to the big-time programs.
Mike Sandboni has some personal tragedy in his family. We'll talk about as the night goes. Partially blocked inside, and Arkansas comes down with it. On the break, Howell sees Mayberry. And Arkansas leads at 4-2.
Great pass by Howell. This is a well-coached Arkansas club. Very impressed with them today in the shoot-around. Young team, but I really think this club's going to get better and better as the season goes on.
Lee Coward runs this Missouri offense. Irvin on the baseline. You know, we talked about Mike Sandboni for a moment. His oldest sister was involved in a very serious car accident just a couple of months ago. She was paralyzed from the neck down, and I know he considered taking his senior year off.
And we do hope that Robin is doing well, and everyone at USA sends their best wishes to her.
An air ball by Wilson. And Lee Coward will set it back up. Arkansas plays a matchup zone. Wilson, the senior, calls the defense when they come down. This is Smith.
Well, what they try to do, Gary, is show different types of defenses when they come down the floor, and I really think Arkansas, the tempo is their way. That was a little too fast that time. Howell got the ball, tried to put up a quick shot. Nolan Richardson saying that's okay, but he would like this club to utilize that 45-second second clock. They're on the road. They need to control tempo if they're going to win this game. They'd love to see the score in the 50s or the 60s. I don't think that's possible against Missouri, though.
Sandboni from 5. And the Tigers have tied it at 4. Lee Mayberry, part of the 1-2 combination of Mayberry and Todd Day, who I'm sure we'll see off the bench shortly out of the Memphis area. Byron Irvin quickly back the other way.
Oh, pretty good position on the transition that time by Wilson, but he didn't get the call.
Mario Credit picks up the foul.
difficult in college basketball as you see Irvin taking it to the basket. It's pretty hard in college to take it all the way in without somebody establishing position. I thought that time Wilson had pretty good position, but the foul was called on the outside.
Byron Irvin, of course, going to Arkansas, playing 1 year for Eddie Sutton. He was recruited by Eddie Sutton as he hits the first and two. Then when Nolan Richardson came over, he really didn't fit into Richardson's plans, and so he went elsewhere. And the Tigers have their first lead at 6-4.
Of course, Missouri straight man-to-man. Arkansas's got to recognize now, run their offense. They love to get the ball around the basket. This is not really, either club really is not a perimeter shooting team. That's a tough shot. How? Acrobatic in the lane.
And he picks up the foul on Byron Irvin, his first on the game. Missouri very difficult to beat in this building.
There's an acrobatic jumper in the lane by Lindsey Howell. Almost gets the roll, but does pick up the foul.
Missouri, since this building opened in 1972, has lost but 34 games in 237 starts. And so this is the quintessential home court advantage.
This Arkansas team, really, Gary, has not been a particularly good free throw shooting team. Howell is probably their best free throw shooter. But as a team, they're only shooting 61, 62%, and Nolan Richardson's concerned about that. Good pressure in the backcourt. Now they switch the defense again and go a little trap, giving Missouri a lot of looks.
Well, Norm Stewart told us he expected this. They worked on it this week. They expected inside. Leonard.
Well, if you're going to trap, it's essential to move over on a weak side. That time, nobody on Leonard and an easy pick. Can't afford to give him those kind of baskets.
Mario Credit with great position. Marks the follow. Can't get it to go down, but he picks up the foul.
It looked like Credit that time powered the ball to the basket. Leonard, good position, gets the block. And it looked like it may have been Marks on the weak side, picks it up, tries to bring it back in, and he draws the foul. Larry Marks, big and strong, 6'7" and about 220 pounds. Leonard, a big guy.
That's the first foul on Gary Leonard, third on Missouri, as Marks will shoot two. Larry Marks could be the strongest player Arkansas has. Just a sophomore. Leads the team in rebounds with 31.
Sure doesn't lead him in free throw shooting, though. Oh! Tenacious effort by Marks to go back after it. Relentless. Picks it up. I think Doug Smith came for a block that time. I thought Marks did a good job of staying with that. Stripped Sambody, puts it on the ground, which may have been his undoing. Gave Smith come over. Look at him come over and try to block that shot. Had he not put it on the ground, he might have been able to get it up fast.
Well, Smith is fearless. Out of Detroit, just a sophomore from Mackenzie High. And Larry Marks finally gets one to go. Missouri leads at 8-7. There you see Norm Stewart picked up his 500th career coaching win earlier this season. There's a timeout on the floor. We are tied. Back with more after this. As keys today, Dan.
Well, what they really felt they had to do was keep the opponent off the offensive board, and they've done a good job of that. Now, the 1-2-2 press has not really shown itself yet, but Missouri loves to extend the defense, and the Razorbacks cannot afford to turn the ball over against it.
Arkansas come out very aggressively defensively. Knocked out of bounds. Bob Sundvold, Tiger assistant, thought it went off one of the Arkansas players, but it will stay with Missouri.
Probably looked to zone it up on the out of bounds, get the ball on the perimeter, force an outside shot. Looks like the Razorbacks now go back into his own wide open shot. Good idea, but a turnover by Norm Stewart's club. That's the kind of thing they were doing. They get it into half court. Sambody's got the jumper. He passes off, turnover. Now, you can't afford to make those kinds of turnovers when you get the ball in that area of the floor.
And Sambody is the one guy they talked about as doing that most often. Looks to pass the ball all the time. But a great defensive play. Irvin wisely holding it 1-on-3 as his teammates catch up. Great pass. Smith inside to Sandbode.
Gary, they're trapping in the corners, and Arkansas is taking some chances, and they're not rotating over, and the middle is wide open. Another shot, really, Sandbode should have put home. Had an easy one.
That's the second team foul on Arkansas.
They're rotating, and they're looking to extend the defense, but no one is moving over. That time, other players on the weak side need to come over for the Razorbacks. Howell needs to clog it on up.
Sandbode hit the first of two. A year ago, he was a miserable free throw shooter. This year, hitting at 75% and hits one of two. And here comes Howell. Knocked away. The Tigers come back. Great pass. Coward to Irvin.
What a pass by Coward that time. Can't afford to make those kinds of turnovers if you're Arkansas. Slow it up. Use the clock. Let's get a good shot.
Wilson in traffic. Can't get it. And the Tigers have a chance to go up by 5. We've got 14 minutes, 32 seconds to play in the first half. Leonard inside. And an offensive foul.
Norm Stewart doesn't like the call, but Lindsey Howell gets good position in there. I don't know why he jumped in that time. Leonard, all he had to do was go straight up. There's no reason at 7-1 to try to go in and draw the foul. Go straight up, and he's got the basket. Howell took a calculated risk, but really had no other play to make.
That's the second foul on Gary Leonard, and Missouri short in the middle, so Norm concerned in the early going.
They may want to go right to Leonard's side. Give the ball to the man Leonard is guarding inside. Looks like Mario Credit. Let him try to pick up the third before they can get him out of the game.
Arkansas very patient. Good pass inside the marks. Ball's loose. And Smith comes down with it.
Multi-dimensional Doug Smith. I mean, he showed me something on that one. Picks up the loose ball, leads the break, makes the pass, and then gets the tip. Not much more you can do.
Missouri leads by 5. Smith did a great job right there of not quitting. Followed up the missed layup.
There it is. There's the third. Might be the third. Smart play by Arkansas. Get the ball to Credit. Takes it into Leonard before they can substitute for him, and he picks up his third foul.
Well, that's exactly what you said, Dan, and Gary Leonard goes out. Greg Church, 6'8" senior forward from not too far from here, Palmyra, Missouri, checks out.
This is good awareness by Wilson. The senior, the smart one, gets it inside. He knows that Leonard is guarding. Leonard should have backed off. Why pick up your third? Just back off, let him shoot it.
Well, Greg Church was waiting on the sidelines to come in before Gary Leonard picked up his third foul.
And Norm couldn't call a timeout because they got a transition and an easy basket. So he's in a tough position. He just hopes his guy's not going to make that third foul.
Mario Credit misses the first one and misses a pair.
Well, that typifies the way their season has gone from the line. They're just not a very good free throw shooting club.
I know Byron Irvin wants to have a big game tonight against his former teammates. He was very loose at the shoot around this afternoon.
Well, Church didn't take Church long to contribute. He gets right in the game and makes a nifty lefty off the glass.
He's had some injury problems over the years here at Missouri. 3 stress fractures, but he's a hard-nosed player. They call him the Hammer. And we've got our biggest lead of the night at 7. 15-8, Missouri over Arkansas. 12:50 to play in the first half. That's Mayberry today, who just checked in. And the freshmen play give and go. And here comes Church. 4-on-1 break for the Tigers. Byron Irvin with a strong move to the basket. We've got a timeout on the floor. Missouri leads it by 9. Goes to the basket as strong as anybody you'd ever want to see.
Yeah, this is a real test of strength here because he gets fouled and still was able to get the ball up and in. That was a 4-on-1 break as Dave picks up the foul. Can't afford those kinds of transitions. When they get the steals and Mizzou gets out there in the open court, they come down in waves.
One thing Nolan Richardson concerned about as Byron Irvin gets ready to try and finish off the three-point play with the young club that he has, 5 freshmen on his team, going on the road for just the second time this year. He's afraid they could get a little bit intimidated.
Well, now Mizzou shows the press. Missouri coming out full court press. No turnover here. They need to cut the kick.
Arkansas worked on breaking this press this morning, and I know Nolan Richardson was very concerned about it.
Well, with Miller in the game, the freshman number 25, they'd like to play him. He's 6'9" at about 240. They like to play him in the backcourt, bringing the ball up, because he's one of the finer passers on this basketball team. So you'll look for a big guy back there trying to direct traffic and make the passes against the press.
This is Credit, and I think he walked. He did.
But I think they can get the ball inside without Leonard in the game. A little different club when the 7-1 guy's out of there, so Arkansas trying to take advantage of it, but again, a turnover.
We were tied at 8 just a few moments ago. Missouri has run off 10 unanswered points. They lead at 18-8, 12 minutes to go here in the first half.
Watch the lob here. They're looking for Doug Smith on a weak side, and they might lob to him.
Smith misses once. Irvin.
This is one of the finer teams in the country. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm very impressed with Missouri. I know they haven't fared well in the NCAA tournament in the last 5 or 6 years. They've lost in the first round, but I really think this is a club that's got a chance to go a long way this year.
Well, again, there are 3 losses, as we talked about in the opening of the show. They lost to Syracuse in overtime. They blew an 18-point lead against Illinois a week ago, and then they lost to North Carolina at North Carolina. And we've got an offensive foul on the freshman, number 25, Oliver Miller, who is a big guy, 6'10", 260, and that's after dropping 20 pounds.
And probably the best passer on this club. He needs not to make those fouls, though. Nolan's club has self-destructed. A guy that can score some points, he can rebound the ball. He needs to gain that necessary experience to get ready for conference play, to not make those kinds of mistakes.
Arkansas has to be very careful now not to get blown out of this game.
Well, they've been on 7 or 8 for a long time. They were on 7 for quite a while, but they really haven't scored a field goal in the last 6 minutes.
Irvin throws it away. It goes back to the Razorbacks. Lee Mayberry with the basketball. The freshman, McDonald's All-American out of Tulsa, has really matured quickly. He started every game since coming, but another turnover. Smith ahead of the field.
Made that look easy, didn't he?
Yes,
I mean,
great pass.
Not much doubt about it.
Tigers have opened their biggest lead of the night at 14. Credit misses the layup. Mayberry can't get it. Partially blocked.
Well, what an offensive display, though, by the Razorbacks. 4 shots, and they finally get it down. To their credit, they stayed in there.
Arkansas so far this year has been beat on the boards by their opponents. 22-10. Missouri leads it. We've got another steal. Back comes Arkansas. The senior, Keith Wilson. He's the one guy Nolan Richardson really feels he can count on night in and night out.
I thought Arkansas might utilize the clock a little more. I mean, they're shooting it within 9-10 seconds. I thought they might run it out to maybe 25.
Big rejection by Irvin. And Arkansas just untracked right now. Irvin to Church. Sandboni.
Tempo way too fast. It's much too fast for the Razorbacks. They've got to slow this thing down. Cannot run up and down the floor with Missouri.
Mike Sandboni, 5 points so far tonight. This is the freshman. Day forces the shot but picks up the foul. That was not a good shot.
Well, the freshman trying to go off on his own. When you're down 14 and you're a freshman out there, you want something to happen. You're not used to being behind. Put it on the ground. Smith made the foul. That's 2 on Smith also. So Smith has 2. Leonard has 3. Sandbodi's coming out. Smith is coming out. And the great freshman Anthony Peeler's going to make his introduction. That's real good news if you're the other team. He's one of the better freshmen in the country. They got you down 24-10. And now he comes in the game.
Some think he's the best freshman guard in America. You talk about your great players, your Billy Owens at Syracuse, Alonzo Mourning.
Chris Jackson, I think, probably would have something.
Yeah.
I tend to disagree with you there. I think
I said one of the best guards.
Yeah, but not the best, because Chris Jackson is.
Yeah, Chris Jackson down at LSU. Just a sensational player.
He's breaking all the records right now.
And Dave pulls Arkansas within 12. So far, the tempo has been all Missouri. They have really controlled it, running up and down the floor. This is Peeler, the freshman. Stolen by another freshman.
A lot of young guys in the game for the Razorbacks. Bowers in the game. They got a lot of young players. Pretty good idea, though. I mean, that looked like a bad pass, but the idea by Miller was excellent. High to low, but all he had to do was just take the extra second. Didn't need to make a snap pass. He had him.
Inside. Thrown away. Intended for Nathan Bunton, the junior out of Detroit.
I really think with this team on the floor, Gary, this is a real chance for Arkansas to come back in this game. I mean, they've got Leonard out. They've got Doug Smith out of the game. The Razorbacks have to run their offense, get some good shots, because from a rebounding standpoint, they can compete with these 5 that Missouri's got on the floor.
Nolan Richardson trying to get his team to think a little bit more out on the floor. They're very young, as we've talked about. Arlen Bowers has checked into the game now. Todd Day from 3. And Irvin comes down with it. Coward comes out of there with it. Coward loses it, gets it back. And Bunton is fouled down low, I believe, the freshman Miller.
Nifty ball handling by Coward. I like that. I mean, he was like a halfback weaving his way through traffic. He got away from everybody and had good presence of mind that time to find the open man Bunton inside. Oliver Miller looked like to me got a lot of ball, but might have hit him with the body underneath. Larry Steuben, I was going to say, one of the Southwest Conference officials picked up that foul. And it's interesting on this crew, they're playing here in Missouri, but the officials are from the Southwest Conference, and next year when they play the game back in Arkansas, it'll be Big 8 officials.
Notice the diminishing playing time of Nathan Bunton since his freshman year when he had a sensational season. Now playing just 15 minutes a game. His dad, the late Bill Bunton, played with Cazzie Russell at Michigan on that great team that went to the finals against UCLA, only to lose.
Well, it probably means they got better players here. That's what normally happens when a good forward loses playing time. They probably brought in some good ones, which they did. Lee Mayberry back in the game now for Arkansas.
And the foul is on Coward as Bowers went by him. Coward sort of reached down and picked up the foul. And Missouri is over the limit, and so Bowers will go to the free throw line. Watch Coward kind of grab on here.
Well, he's reaching, not moving the feet, instead reaching with the arms. And that time Bowers, who gives his team penetration, gives them another dimension, a guy that can get the ball and bring it into traffic and give it up. He's a pretty good player.
Even though this is break time at many universities around the country, we've got a sellout crowd here. They're filled to the rafters at the Hearn Center at a great building for basketball. They're really right on top of the action. Bowers shooting better from the field than he is from the foul line.
Well, when your team is only shooting 62%, there's a lot of players doing that on this club. I mean, they've only got 1 or 2 players shooting in the 70s.
And Church loses it. Arkansas will retain. Dan, what is it about so many college players today, especially on teams that don't shoot the free throw well? Is it lack of concentration?
Well, it's mechanics. I really think good free throw shooters have to do the same thing every time they go to the line and cannot alter that.
Marks a strong rebound.
Marks is going after that one. They're only down 10. I mean, Arkansas can hang in there. If they can cut this to about 6 or 7 at halftime, they still have 8 minutes to go. They could be in decent shape.
This is Coward playing on the same floor right now with a former high school teammate, both Coward and Bunton at Murray Wright High. This is Bunton in Detroit. Partially blocked. Arkansas tries to run. This is Day, the freshman. Stutter step. And a foul down low. Great move by the freshman.
Oh, good move that time. Little hesitation. Church came with the foul. But Day's got a lot of ability. Fakes the shot, kind of blows right by the defense, knows where the basket is. Church with the help, it does get him with the body. Arkansas with a chance to cut it to 8.
Todd Day out of Hamilton High School in Memphis, Tennessee. And the continuing free throw shooting problems of the Razorbacks.
And I really think Norm Stewart does not want to bring Doug Smith back in the game because he has 2. You know, Leonard won't be back till the second half. He doesn't want Smith picking up his 3rd foul in the first half. So this is a real opportunity for the Razorbacks, but they're not cashing in on it.
And Day misses a pair. One thing Nolan Richardson worked on in practice today, full extension on free throws. Players bringing their wrists down before they follow through. And a couple of misses right there. Coward loves to shoot the 3. Can't get this one.
And he's the only guy in this club that will shoot the 3. And this is not a 3-point shooting team, the Tigers. They do not go out there very often except for Coward.
Coward beat Kansas twice his freshman year with buzzer shots. He's a cool customer. Never afraid to take the big shot. And that's something you like in a point guard. And a steal. Coward from 15.
Another turnover in a half court by the Razorbacks, converted to a basket. They've had 2 or 3 chances to cut the lead down to single digits, but haven't been able to do it. I think they've got to look inside, get the ball around a basket. They had Credit that time, throw it to him.
6.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Credit, soft little turnaround. His shot very tough to block because he's got a very quick release. Peeler, the freshman, throws it away, and he has not done much so far. Right back the other way, Mayberry.
Might be Sam Bodie with the reach. The Razorbacks with the steal. Got to be impressed with Mayberry. Good quickness in the open court.
For a freshman, Lee Mayberry leads the team in minutes played.
Well, he's a fine all-around player. He took it in that time and anticipated the steal, brought it down, and drew the foul. And again, the Razorbacks with a chance to cut this inside of 10.
Dan, with only a little bit over 6 minutes remaining in the first half, the numbers would almost appear to be, as they miss another free throw, in Arkansas's favor. A low-scoring game so far.
Arkansas will be right in this game. It is low scoring, but the Razorbacks will be right in had they made their free throws. Now Sam Bodie picks up his second. You've got Doug Smith with 2, and you've got Leonard with 3.
And another miss. Arkansas shooting 62% from the line this year.
And of course, they're shooting 6 out of 17 so far from the line.
If they make all those, they lead by 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. 6 out of 17.
Church with 4 points now on the night, the senior. Lindsey Howell has been very quiet for Arkansas so far. He's got the best vertical jump on the team at 38 inches as Marks has it go in and out.
And only 1 shot for the Razorbacks. Missouri can take control with the 5 guys they have on the floor right now by running their offense, looking to get the ball around a basket.
And Keith Wilson picks up the foul. His first of the ball game.
Still not a shooting situation. Be out of bounds to Missouri.
That is the 6th team foul on Arkansas. We've got a break. Missouri leads it by 12. Back in a moment. Joe Beach High. It's Porky's 2 the next day, and Porky's Revenge, a USA special New Year's Eve presentation starting at 8, 7 Central, right here on USA. The Tigers leading the Razorbacks 29-17, 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. And quickly, Nathan Bunton gets his own rebound. And the lead is at 14.
Just can't control him on the offensive boards. I mean, they just dominate him on the boards.
Lindsey Howell leads the team in scoring. He's the junior from San Jacinto.
Oh, good help that time by Bunton. Bunton made a tremendous defensive play. Comes over on a weak side, establishes position, anticipates the pass. Look at Bunton. He's just not standing there watching. He is anticipating in the proper spot, picks up the foul. Those are the kind of plays that don't show up in the box score but really help you win games.
That's the second foul so far tonight on Larry Marks. And now there's some confusion over here at the scorer's table.
What they're going to say was that a shooting situation. Or they're not sure exactly who that foul was on, but
that's Norm Stewart. He's inquiring as to what's going.
Now they got the right person. Of course, it's a control that time, so they're not going to shoot the basketball, but they had confusion as to whom the foul was on.
It was on Marks, and that's his second so far tonight as Peeler brings it back for Missouri. Anthony Peeler, a great jumper for a guard, goes 6'4", loves to go inside, though, and now loses it.
Well, the one thing he's going to have to do, though, he's going to have to learn to play the point. He's going to have to make good decisions, not necessarily be a point guard. As you look at the field goal percentage, one of the reasons Arkansas is not in this game right now, you can't shoot 23% and hang in there. I mean, no matter what keys you have to put the ball down.
Wilson loses it. It goes right to Marks at a soft little jump hook. You know, Dan, the one thing we talked about earlier today was you can go through the X's and the O's, you can prepare your club as we've got a foul on Wilson, but if you don't put the ball in the basket, nothing's going to help.
Yeah, you throw it all out the window, and of course Nolan Richardson was concerned about that. Young club, they're on the road. Wilson's the only senior coming into this place. He said, we better shoot it well or you can forget it.
Arkansas is over the penalty now, and so Anthony Peeler, the freshman, goes to the free throw line.
For Missouri, number 4, Lee Coward.
Lee Coward back into the game.
Into the game, replacing Greg Church.
Keith Wilson, the only senior, Dan, on this Arkansas team.
Yeah, you have to like his tenacity. Of course, a quote there from Nolan Richardson. He knows how to play. We expect a lot of things, but here's a guy who's going to give him a lot of leadership. He's gone through some traumatic experiences in his career, but he's going to give you 40 minutes.
Another missed free throw. Wilson has been given the green light on threes by Richardson. Dishes off Credit now. Good look inside by Wilson.
Well, they're still hanging in. I mean, here's a team shooting 23%. They're not doing a lot of things, right? Nearly down 10. I mean, with the three-point shot, 10's not a long ways away. There's still 4 minutes to go and a half. They can still do some good things.
Oh, that's good defense by Credit. And they can cut the lead to 8 now. Quickly, back the other way. Lindsey Howell pulls up.
Good transition that time by the Razorbacks. Howell makes the jumper, but Mayberry leads the attack. Mayberry will distribute the ball. And the crowd's really been out of this game for a long time. I mean, they just figure this game's over, and it's not over yet.
4 points for Howell. Arkansas within 8, and Coward throws the basketball away.
Timeout on the floor.
We've got a break here at the Hearn Center in Columbia. Missouri leads by 8. Back in a moment. These are two very different teams here at Arkansas and Missouri.
Of course, you look at the class breakdown right there, and you see Missouri with a lot of experience with 4 seniors and 4 juniors, where Arkansas, not many. Look at the number of freshmen on that Arkansas team. Arkansas with 5 freshmen.
5 very talented freshmen. Arkansas can cut the lead to 6 now as Missouri stays in their man-to-man defense. Good pass inside. Howell. And a foul on Missouri.
Howell with a superb job that time of avoiding Button and not picking up the charge. Good body control in the air, which is so important, Gary. When you bring that ball in the basket, you better know where the defensive player is. And Norm Stewart, I'll guarantee, is worried a little bit. His horses are out of the game because of foul trouble. He knows this game could get tight in a hurry.
Howell hits the free throw. Finally hits a free throw. Arkansas now 7 of 18 from the three-point line, from the foul line. And the lead down to 6 now as Brad Sutton checks into the game for Missouri, replacing Nathan Button.
A lot of different players in there for Missouri. McIntyre's in there. They've got a lot of new guys in the game.
John McIntyre, an interesting story. He began his career at the University of Detroit. He's out of Catholic Central High in Detroit. Many people said when he came out of high school, he'd be the next Pete Maravich. He hasn't lived up to the billing.
That's comparing him to a pretty good player. Yes, I mean, that's almost unfair, but good block. Oh, they're going to get a foul?
I think we've got goaltending.
Oh, they get goaltending on the outside.
What happened, though, I think Marks put his hand up through the basket.
Might have, because I didn't think it. Larry Steuben might have made a great call, because I didn't think it was a goaltend unless he puts his hand, which he did, through the basket. Great call by Gary, right on that one.
Back the other way, Sutton, who's just checked in, picks up his first foul. That hand through the basket trick is good when you can get away with it.
I thought it was a great, he fooled me.
Missouri foul on Brad Sutton.
Once again, Arkansas, if they can hit their free throws, can get within 6. Mario Credit will go to the free throw line. Credit's a big guy. He gained valuable experience playing behind Andrew Lang a year ago. Lang now with the Phoenix Suns.
And doing a pretty good job for Phoenix, too. Well, they're on a streak here. I mean, they've made a few free throws. Oh, they're getting hot now. I mean, they were 6 for 17, have come back and made about 4 or 5 in a row. Now they extend the defense. Missouri really with only one starter in there. Oh, almost get a turnover.
McIntyre out of control, stays with it. Arkansas almost came up with the turnover. As they're very much in this game, it's a 6-point game. 2 minutes and 28 seconds to play in the first half. Missouri leading Arkansas. And Church loses it out of bounds.
The tempo has really changed, hasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, Missouri had scored 20 points in the first 8 minutes. Now all of a sudden it has just really slowed down. Of course, Missouri doesn't have the same players on the floor that they did in the first 8 minutes, so that has a lot to do with it.
Greg Church comes out of the game along with John McIntyre, and 2 freshmen come in for Norm Stewart. Jamal Coleman, a freshman out of Denver, Colorado, and Peeler, the sensational young player out of Kansas City. As now Arkansas can cut the lead to 4.
Right back around the basket. I think right back to Credit, who's been hot inside. Well, that's not bad.
Oh, that's a great move by Wilson, but he can't get it. And Peeler tries to push it for the Tigers. This is a weird team Missouri has on the floor right now. Irvin forces it.
Well, only weird in the respect that these guys haven't played together a lot in this kind of a condition. Normally they're in the game when the game is over, but Norm Stewart's got a club on the floor that is they're in the nuts and bolts of this game right now, and there's a lot of pressure on them. So he's putting some guys down the floor that have not played in this situation before.
Coleman and Sutton have both seen very little playing time, especially in big games like this. As we see Norm Stewart's record, 28th year here at Missouri. Only 2 coaches have coached longer in the Big 8. Fog Allen at Kansas, Henry Iba, Oklahoma State. Pretty good company.
Yeah, pretty good company. Norm Stewart's done a tremendous job in Missouri, and wherever he has coached. Over 500 career wins is unbelievable. This guy will be a starter, I'm sure, the next 3 years he's here if he doesn't break in midway through as Irvin goes out of the game. So the lefty drills 2 free throws.
Another freshman, Mike Warziniak, has checked into the game. And so Warziniak, Sutton, and Peeler all on the floor at the same time. Ball's loose, scramble for it, and Samboni comes out of there. Oh, hello.
Anthony Peeler in the open court. Nice transition and a dunk off the break.
And there is that explosive leaping ability of Peeler.
And good pass that time that just brings it right in, and he can't really get up. Peeler, kind of a guy that can ignite the crowd.
The lead has swelled back to 10 at 37-27. A minute 20 to play in the first half. Wilson today, the freshman who just checked in and who throws the ball away.
Most important part of the game really is the last 2 minutes, and Nolan Richardson not happy with the way his club has performed. They were down 6 with the ball. Missouri has come right back to lead by 10.
Peeler tries to force it to Sutton, and we've got a jump ball. Let's see, the possession arrow goes to Arkansas. The infamous possession arrow.
Yeah, the infamous. If you play well, Gary, in the last 2 minutes of the half and the first 2 minutes of the second half, you're usually pretty good shape if the game is close. Arkansas just had too many turnovers. They've had chances, but they haven't been able to cut it that close.
We're less than a minute to go in the first half. Arkansas can cut it to 8 right here. Wilson, the senior. 22 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Neither team has really utilized the clock. Marks, quick shot.
First time, really, that Arkansas has run it all the way down. Now Missouri has to play for one.
The shot clock is off.
Got a foul there. Good call. Steuben right on the call. Could work out to Arkansas's favor if he misses the free throw. I mean, because you miss a free throw, it's just like a turnover.
Marks commits the foul, his third so far. This is what's coming up at halftime. Christmas at Coach Richardson. An interesting look at how the Razorbacks spent their Christmas. We'll also go inside and take a look at Ron Heary's suspension at Arkansas, and also the Prudential first half stats and highlights. This is Warziniak, the freshman from Ohio. And just what you said. He misses. Arkansas now can get the last shot and cut the lead to 6.
And I really think if you're Arkansas, if you have a shot early, now Nolan Richardson's calling up one, but if they have a shot early, go ahead and look to take it, then pick them up and maybe look to make another foul. Got a lot of players on the floor for Missouri that haven't been there before in this kind of situation, but they're going to run it all the way down. You want to shoot it now with about 7. Give yourself a chance to rebound it in if you miss.
Day to the baseline. Gets his own rebound. And that is it for the first half. Missouri leading at 37-31 at halftime. We are live in Columbia, Missouri, back with our halftime show being brought to you by the Prudential, going above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. Gary Apple back along with Dan Belwamity. Dan, I thought Arkansas got back in the game after a very sluggish period midway through the half.
Well, I thought they started a little bit slow, but I thought Lee Mayberry was the guy that really keyed him. He did an excellent job. The freshman can really run the floor. He's a good passer in the open court. He can make the jumper, and he just keyed the Razorbacks when he got the ball. So I thought Mayberry, when he ended the transition, was a guy that really looked to score.
And here he took a very nice pass inside from Lindsey Howell. Back the other way from Missouri, Mike Sandbode.
Well, Mike Sandbode's really a very good shooter and a very good passer. And he's been able to pass the ball effectively around the basket. There he gets it to Leonard, who wasn't foul trouble early in the game, did not play a whole lot. But Sandbode's the guy they look for to make the key passes.
Byron Irvin, of course, trying to do very well against his former teammates at Arkansas.
Well, normally does. Byron Irvin, a fine all-around player, and he can do it with his jumping ability. He can do it with his shooting, and Byron Irvin is certainly one of the better players in the Big 8.
Here's the sophomore out of Detroit, Doug Smith, and this is what brings the crowd to their feet.
Well, what they need is more of that, and I'm sure Norm Stewart said we need to keep that guy in the game because Doug Smith, one of the better players in the country, only a sophomore at 6'10", and they need his ability in the game.
Let's take a look at some first-half statistics here in Columbia. There's the field goals. Missouri shooting over 50%. Arkansas off to a very sluggish start.
Well, they were shooting worse than that. I thought Arkansas came back to shoot 35. Neither team has really shot anything from the three-point line. The foul situation in terms of shooting free throws, Arkansas 11 for 20. They were 6 out of 17 at one time. Missouri at 7 for 11, and the rest is about even. So the Razorbacks need to come out the second half, Gary, and play real well in the first couple of minutes. That should be a charge. It should be no basket. I thought the contact occurred before the shot. No basket. Good call.
And both teams begin with their first half starting lineups. That foul on Mike Sandbode, his third so far tonight, and Missouri's foul problems continue.
Well, Sandbode's got 3, Leonard's got 3, and you look for Doug Smith with 2. Tell you, if you're Arkansas and you were in there and you take a look right there at some of the foul situations and the points, the leading scorer is Arkansas, of course, with Marks and Credit with 8 apiece, and Irvin was the leading scorer for Missouri.
Inside, Sandbode comes down with the rebound. And Missouri again trying to push the tempo. They were having success early in the half when they were playing into their hands.
I really think if you're Nolan Richardson, you had to take some time at halftime and say to your basketball team, we've got this team in foul trouble. Let's get the ball around the basket. Anthony Peeler will come into the game right away for Sam Bodie, who picked up his third. Norm Stewart does not want Sam Bodie picking up that fourth, so Peeler makes an early substitution for the Tigers.
Peeler really makes things happen when he comes in the game.
Well, he's a versatile guy. He can play forward, he can play guard. Comes right in at forward, makes the shot. Three-pointer. That's not bad.
Yeah, he opens the floor up. And so Missouri back out to a 9-point lead. Peeler now with 7 tonight. Right inside they go. That's credit. And Leonard couldn't pick up his fourth foul there.
Smart play by Arkansas. Get the ball right to the player that Leonard is guarding. Easy basket. Look for them to do more of the same.
Lee Coward continues to control the offense, and Peeler passes it up. Great pass.
He's made an impact since he's come in the game. I mean, he makes a three-pointer, then comes off the jump and gives a nice pass inside.
And the freshman Oliver Miller with a great entry pass to Mario Credit, who cuts the lead back to 7.
Well, I think they're going to get Leonard out of the game. I mean, you can't play defense by standing around and trying to avoid fouls. So I think Norm Stewart's going to say, if you're going to play half speed, I think it's time to come out.
Irvin misses and then misses his own tip, and back come the Razorbacks. They have a 3-on-1. Missed 2 layups. Oh, Byron Irvin wide open.
Can't afford not to put that last transition away if you're the Razorbacks. They get a chance. 4 shots under the basket. Do not make any of them. Missouri with the easy transition. 4-point swing.
11 points now for Byron Irvin as Lindsey Howell misses. And look at Irvin inside, a guard who really goes to the boards very, very strong. So far this year, Irvin is averaging 4 rebounds a game, which is good for a guard.
Well, he looks to come back, pick it off the boards, and then lead the break. Church will come in. Leonard will go out. So they're going to make another substitution. Smaller team in the game now for Missouri. Doug Smith will go to the post. No stranger there. He can play all over. Good steal by Wilson. Give it up.
Keith Wilson with the quick hands and the jam. Had Mayberry, but took it right to the hole. And Arkansas back within 7.
That's Wilson's first basket of the game. I mean, there's a guy that's double figures, and he really hasn't scored. Gets his first hoop.
Excellent entry pass. Peeler again seeing the floor very well. Spotted Smith.
Well, what they're trying to do really is combat the double teaming and the pressure that's put on by Arkansas. They try to get the ball around the basket. Doug Smith that time just takes it in strong. Surprised he missed it. He's a little surprised himself. But he's very powerful around the basket.
That's the freshman, Oliver Miller. Looks like a big teddy bear, doesn't he?
And he's lost a lot of weight. Came in about 275. He's down to 260.
I would imagine his idol is the fridge. As Smith misses, and Mayberry comes up with it. And now Arkansas can drop to within 5.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to go to the person that Smith is guarding. Oh, Smith makes a good steal from the side.
Great play by Smith. Coward gives it up. Whoa. Eight points now for Doug Smith.
I think he gets the crowd back in the game. What do you think? I mean, open court. That was quite a dunk. I like that one.
That's right off the playgrounds of Detroit. High-low, down to Credit, and great position behind the defense. A great lob pass. Nolan Richardson loves that about Oliver Miller. For a big guy, he passes the ball very well.
Give it up now. I really think Arkansas is showing excellent court awareness of the situation. They realize that they've got Missouri in foul trouble, and they're concentrating on getting the ball inside.
Wilson hits nothing. And right back the other way come the Tigers. Peeler, strong move, dumps it off. And Church wasn't ready for it. Mayberry can't find the range, showed good penetration, and we've turned into a track meet.
We've turned it into a turnover track meet. I don't think either team is really handling the ball well.
We've got 15:52 to play in the game. The Tigers lead it by 7. With the odd couple, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau bring their classic performance to USA. Sunday at 2, 1 Central.
That'll get you out of the game real fast because Anthony Peeler, see, the feast or famine, came in and made some shots. But then all of a sudden turned the ball over a number of times. Got 7 turnovers. Missouri now with 17 for the game. And Arkansas in the second half has taken care of the basketball. They haven't turned it over that many times. They've done it once or twice. I don't think Norm's real happy. I don't think Norm's happy.
Norm was upset with the way the clock was being run. And back the other way comes Arkansas. They can cut the lead here to 5. Big possession. Now, one of these times they have to cut into this lead. Bring it under 5.
Well, if they want to win the game, they do.
Right.
I mean, if they're going to be happy to get it to 7 or 8 and then not play. But they need to get it right there and get it up. Get it up.
That's a triple team on Credit, and it forces him to walk. The big fella not happy, thought he got fouled, but good collapsing defense by Missouri.
That time they elected to go ahead and bring the wing down to double up. What Credit has to do in that situation is pitch the ball back outside.
Arlen Bowers into the game now for Arkansas. Lindsey Howell out. He's had a quiet game so far.
Boy, the middle is open. They can get the ball to Smith and let him create.
Smith way out high, knocked away by Mayberry. Wilson leads the break.
Oh, I like that shot. He knew Smith was coming. He said, I'm going to put this one a little higher on the glass. Lee Mayberry. He's impressive.
Arkansas more pressure, and I think we may have had a travel.
Yes, he did. I thought they got away with it. I thought the referee wasn't going to call it that time, but no question, Doug Smith traveled with the ball.
46-41, 14:50 to play in the game. Arkansas can cut the lead to 3. This is the freshman Miller to the only senior Wilson. Miller playing way away from the basket. Arkansas very patient now. They know they want a good shot.
Smith guarding Wilson, a smaller player, because he doesn't want to pick up his 3rd foul.
Again the lob, this time knocked away, and Church comes out with it. Doug Smith pulls up. Knocked way out, and here's Credit. Mayberry back to Credit. And an offensive foul. The 2nd foul so far on Credit.
Good job, though, by Doug Smith that time to hold position and not pick up a foul. Credit makes a smart play, releases the ball, now picks the ball back up inside. Watch Doug Smith hold. He doesn't go for the foul. Good play by Smith.
And what the crowd is booing about, Mario Credit took the ball and almost threw it up into the crowd. And the faithful here at the Hearn Center in Columbia wanted a technical. Didn't get it, though.
Now, he's not happy with that foul, but I thought a good, smart play on the defense. Well, if you're not happy, take the ball and go away. Just say, I'm not going to play anymore. Can't play.
If it's your ball,
right,
that's okay.
Just leave.
Byron Irvin loses the handle, and it goes back to Arkansas. I think Dan a little bit sloppy.
More than a little bit sloppy. And this is a real good example, Gary, of what fouls can do to your club. Missouri was going to run away with this game early. Leonard picks up early foul. Smith picks it up. Sandbody. All of a sudden, they got different players in the game. Arkansas has been able to stay out of foul trouble, and they have stayed close.
And Mayberry makes it a 3-point game. Finally, they cut past that 5-point barrier.
Hey, Missouri's sitting on 20 turnovers already, and there's still 13 minutes to go in the game.
46-43, Missouri by 3. They had double-figure leads in the first half as Irvin way off on a 3.
Oh, it's almost a travel there, got away with it. Good shot going inside. I thought he might have moved it.
Right back the other way. Touchdown pass. And that was a great pass by Oliver Miller to Keith Wilson.
Well, now Arkansas, I'll tell you what's happening. Now Arkansas thinks they can win the game. I don't know if they were thoroughly convinced of this back when the game started in the first 5-6 minutes. Oh, how about that? Doug Smith is impressive. He's playing on another level. I mean, this guy is playing up in the stratosphere someplace, and everybody else is sort of on the ground.
Doug Smith now with 12 points tonight as Missouri increases their lead back to 5. 12.5 minutes to play. And a 3-pointer from Keith Wilson. That's the first time he shot from out there tonight.
Well, Wilson didn't score any points in the first half, but he's got 7 in the second half. And almost another steal. Going to get a foul this time on Mayberry on a reach. Good foul, though. They're taking some chances. They're aggressive. It's their 4th team foul. Only 1 on Missouri so far in the second half, so the Tigers can get a little more intensified themselves and pick up. With only 1 team foul, you can afford to take some.
Lee Mayberry's first foul on the night. Button looks low, knocked away. Church comes up with it. Greg Church now has 8 on the night. He's a very heady player on the floor.
Right place at the right time. Arkansas almost had a deflection that time, but Church happened to pick it up. Back they go inside.
Miller, the soft hook. Nothing but air. Marks is there, though. Swings it back to Bowers. And Bowers rejected by Smith.
Dunk. Almost.
Tipped up once, twice. Still on the floor. And finally, it's Nathan Button.
I mean, do you think that's an example right there of offensive rebounding? Good timeout by Arkansas. What Arkansas wanted was basket interference. Was close.
And these young fans enjoying the action in Columbia. The Tigers lead the Razorbacks by 6. Doing a great job on the offensive boards.
Well, they are really attacking the boards. This transition, Smith misses an easy shot. That's 1, 2, 3. Finally, they get the ball back. Smith's going to pick it up and try to power it back. 4, and then 5 on a, just filtered that one right in.
Nathan Button finally came up with the basket. Nolan Richardson's team being out-rebounded on the year. He said he doesn't mind if they get out-rebounded as long as they win the battle of the offensive boards. A 3-pointer now for Lee Mayberry, and quickly back the other way. Arkansas is within 3. Lee Mayberry, 11 points.
Almost had a steal there.
Again, Church on the offensive boards, and he gets it to go.
Can't win if you're going to give the other team 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 shots on the offensive boards. Arkansas is going to have all their players get back in there and rebound it.
Wilson, little head fake, strong move to the bucket. Smith not happy with the call. Doug Smith picking up his 3rd personal foul.
Nolan Richardson, though, has to be happy with the way his guards have responded in the second half. Mayberry and Wilson have really been able to take the ball in that time. Wilson drawing the foul. Miller's going to come out, the big freshman.
Doug Smith, 3rd foul. They've turned out some great players in Detroit. Smith, of course, here at Missouri. Another pretty fair player. Derek Coleman at Syracuse.
Yeah, he's fair. He's pretty
fair
good.
player, and I know they really look forward to playing each other in the finals of the Big Apple NIT. They all tried to outdo each other as Wilson hits the first free throw.
Well, you're in a real tough spot if you're Norm Stewart, because your whole front line now is in foul trouble. And I really think Arkansas next time down the floor look to whomever Doug Smith is guarding. He's got 3. Good pass.
Great block inside by Marks, but Nathan Button picks up the loose ball. 7 now for Button. And a whistle. And I think that's 4 on Smith.
Not a smart foul that time. You want to play good defense. It is 4 on Smith. And he ran over the defender, ran over a screen. So Sandbody will come in for Doug Smith, who's had a sensational game, but just hasn't played a lot of minutes. Got to play a lot of minutes.
As you mentioned, not a great foul.
Well, what he tried to do that time is go through the screen. A little acting job, I thought, by Arkansas, but a smart one. I mean, if he's close to you and he hits you, draw a foul. Oh, how about that one?
And Wilson has started to heat up from 3-point land. It's a 3-point game again.
Well, Mayberry and Smith have 18 in the second half. That's a foul there. Good call on Wilson. I mean, Wilson had 0 in the first half. He's got 11 in the second. And his running mate, Lee Mayberry's picked up 7 in the second. So the backcourt's accounted for 18 second half points.
We talked about the fact that Byron Irvin wanted to have a good game against his former team. Irvin and Wilson are very good friends.
Of course, Arkansas really shooting the 3-point shot effectively throughout. They're getting a lot of loose balls and putting them back in. They're getting deflections, and the Tigers are able to pick it back up and score.
Lee Coward with 4 points. so far tonight as the Tigers now lead again by 5 with just under 10 minutes to play in the game. And at this point, Dan, Arkansas players, as young as they are, have to feel good that they're in the ball game.
Well, the way they're shooting a three-point shot, look for it again. Good deflection there and a steal.
Church keeps it in, right back to Arkansas, though. Lob pass, not a good pass, and it goes off Credit's hands. And look at the frustration on Nolan Richardson's face.
He's telling Lindsey Howell, I think maybe he was mad at Lindsey. Lindsey goes, I wasn't making that pass. I wasn't in the game.
Missouri can go back up by 7.
I think Nolan's got to be very happy the way his club has come out the second half and played. There's a three-point attempt.
Church, good offensive rebound, but stolen by Marks, who wisely waits for his teammates.
Smart play. They need execution.
Day in traffic, and he traveled.
Well, the one thing you notice about Day is he's too impatient. I mean, Day is trying to make things happen, not wait for them to happen. Let the game come to you. Nolan Richardson with his head down, thinking another freshman mistake.
Nolan Richardson's Arkansas Razorbacks trail it by 5, and we'll be back right after this for an in-state collision Southern style as the Tigers of Memphis State meet the Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville. College basketball begins at 9, 8 Central, live here on USA. And there are some Hog fans who have made the journey here. Greg Church pulls it back from Missouri. The Tigers leading it by 5, under 9 to go. And Marks makes the steal. They've got a 2-on-1.
Oh, that's a goaltend. It looked like a goaltend by Bunton on the trail. I thought Marks was going to give the ball out. Give it up. I thought very surprised that he took it all the way to the basket. Bunton with an emotional play had no chance to get that one. I don't think that ball would have gone in.
8 points now for Larry Marks. I think the defense thought the same thing you did, Dan. I thought he was going to give it up and sort of pulled off him. Sandbody to Bunton, who's getting some more playing time tonight. Irvin for 3.
Norm Stewart trying to make the decision now. When do I come back with Smith? It's got to be pretty soon. When do I come back with Leonard? Both have 4 fouls, probably at about the 6-minute mark.
Wilson tries to counter, can't hit it. Strong rebound by Marks. And it goes off his hands to Missouri. The freshman Anthony Peeler into the game. Nolan Richardson trying to get his club going. They're not dead yet. They trail it by 6 with 8 minutes to play.
Big team in the game right now in terms of the backcourt for Missouri. Peeler at 6'4½", and of course Byron Irvin at 6'6". There's a little difference right there. Arkansas shooting the ball much better in the second half at 64%. Of course, they've had a lot of easy baskets because of their defense and their transition.
Look at Byron Irvin go up for the rebound, can't get the shot, and Church goes over the back. Byron Irvin really goes to the glass for a guard. Just a very sleek player who seems to get inside.
Well, he did, and of course, Church, anticipating the miss, which all good rebounders do, went after the ball, little contact over the back. Wilson, I thought, did have some position inside. Still not a shooting situation.
And Todd Day picked up his pivot foot, says to the ref, what did I do? But he traveled. And so Missouri will get the ball back.
Todd Day will have better nights for the Razorbacks. The All-American freshman from Tennessee has not really had the kind of game that he's capable of. Made a lot of turnovers, and I know he's upset. I think he's more upset at himself. Norm Stewart liked the call. Yeah, he's happy.
Norm's getting a kick out of it.
Make more of those calls.
Todd Day takes a seat. Lindsey Howell comes back in. Howell, the leading scorer for Arkansas, averaging 13.5 a game. He's been quiet so far tonight. As the Razorbacks stay in their matchup zone, Bunton turns and has it blocked by Credit.
Mario Credit's had one of those games where you don't notice him a lot, and he comes up with about 4 or 5 blocks and about 12 points.
Marks keeps it alive and hits the bank shot. He now has 10 on the night. And Missouri has their lead cut to 4. And a foul.
Of course, Arkansas takes chances on defense, and they'll pick up some of those fouls going for the ball. They're trying to look for that guard-forward pass, try to steal. They're not really in a lot of foul trouble. Now Leonard comes back in the game. Norm Stewart elects to put him back at 6:45, and what he's thinking right now, if Leonard fouls out, then he's going to come back with Smith, or put Smith in maybe at the 5-minute mark. I thought Church did a nice job.
So Gary Leonard back in. And loses the ball immediately. They're loose on the floor.
Oh, you like Leonard going after it. Oh, I like that. I mean, Leonard didn't stand up and say, gee, I dropped the ball. I mean, he got his knees a little scraped. He went right down on the ground. Now, most big guys wouldn't do this.
And that's why the scouts like him. The possession arrow goes to Arkansas. And so the Razorbacks with some great hustle, both Leonard and Mayberry, who was on top there. The ball going back to the Razorbacks.
How's it like to be on the ground and have Leonard fall on you? I mean, here's a guy 6 or 7 feet 1 at about 270.
I could think of better things.
Took up the whole space down there.
A chance now for Arkansas to get within 2, and again sloppy with the ball. Irvin was open, Peeler missed him, and the ball goes off Peeler's foot.
Steuben right on the play. Good call. It did go off his foot. Norm's got to be very concerned. Only up 4. Still plenty of time.
Just over 6 minutes. Arkansas a chance to cut even further into the lead. This is Mayberry, the freshman. He now has 13.
He's quite a player.
And a steal.
Uh-oh. It's tied up now.
Will tie it.
Might need a timeout here, folks. I mean, this is getting a little out of hand because the Razorbacks have come all the way back.
We are tied at 63. 5:50 to play in the second half. Back with more after this.
Second half has been the guard play of the Razorbacks, and Wilson with the steal, and he's going to take it end to end and make the easy dunk and tie the ball game. Wilson's got 13 second half points, and Mayberry's got 8 or 9. So the guard play of the Razorbacks have brought them back to a tie.
And we are tied 63 all. 5:30 to play in the game. Coward from 3. Leonard keeps it alive, and Missouri gets the bucket. Byron Irvin puts Missouri back up by 2. Quickly back the other way. Credit has it partially blocked. It's kept alive, and Mayberry comes out with it near half court.
Smart play, though. Right back to Credit. They're trying to foul Leonard out of the game.
And a tough shot by Mario Credit, but again, right back into him, Dan.
Well, they sure know where to go with the ball.
We're knotted again at 65. This is Sandbody. On the wing, Irvin in traffic, dumps it to Leonard, and the big guy puts Missouri back on top. 6 points now for Gary Leonard.
See if they bring it back to Credit again. Oh, he walked. Got away with it there.
And he loses it.
And
Irvin comes out with it.
And Credit may be hurt at the other end. No call? What was that? Kind of an off the wrong foot, kind of a shuffler. Got away with one. I thought Credit got hurt. The score, they wanted to keep it in the 60s or low 70s if you're Arkansas, and that's where it is right now, but they need to get a hoop.
Right back to Credit, misses the easy one, stays with it, loses it, and it will stay with Arkansas. But every time down now, they'll go right down into the paint to the big guy.
You think this is congested in there, but smart play by Credit to get it up and in. Oh, Wilson again. Hey, this guy Wilson's unbelievable. Let's inbound the ball and shoot a three-pointer.
Keith Wilson brings Arkansas back to within a point at 69-68. 16 points now for him, and back the other way. Irvin counters.
This game kind of started slow, but everybody's warming up.
21 points for Byron as the two former teammates battle it out. And that went off the hands of Lindsey Howell. Ball goes to Missouri.
takes a lot of skill to play this game when you're in foul trouble, and I thought Leonard that time played very good position. He can't get too emotional and go for every block. Sometimes you just have to hold and hope the other guy misses the shot. Second half scoring of the guards, 25 points combined, have led the charge for the Razorbacks. Nice pass.
Church loses it, gets it back, and scores. 74-68, it's back up to a 6-point lead. Wilson follows his own miss. And a foul, I believe, on either Coward or Leonard. And it was Coward.
Fans do not like the call. Wilson, nobody screened the shooter out. The shooter gets the ball right back, and there's the foul on the outside. Coward got him on the way to the basket.
The second foul on Lee Coward as Lindsey Howell takes his seat. Arlen Bowers comes into the game. Nolan Richardson maybe wanting to push the tempo here as he gets into the late stages.
Well, he's got 3 guards on the floor now. So when you've got Mayberry, Wilson, and Bowers, as Wilson has all of those points in the second half. Now they may try to press. Smaller team in the game for the Razorbacks. Not a very good rebounding team, but extremely quick.
The lead is at 4. We're hitting the 3-minute point. Missouri has led it just about from the get-go. Irvin, great look downstairs. $14 now for Greg Church. Mayberry
hit the clock. Ball bounced up and hit the 45-second clock, which is out of play.
And so Missouri, I would imagine this time down, would like to take some time off the clock.
Of course, the other thing is, where has Doug Smith been? I mean, old Doug hasn't been in a game in a long time. He does have 4, but Norm Stewart's probably trying to say, well, we got the lead. If Leonard fouls out, I'll come back with Smith.
We've just passed the 2:30 point. Missouri leads it by 6. They have the basketball. And it goes out of bounds off Credit's foot. Irvin lost it, but luckily Credit was right there to put his foot in the way.
Unselfish play that time by Byron Irvin to give up the ball instead of looking to shoot it.
We've got a timeout on the floor. Missouri by 6. Tonight, and so far none of their wins have been by less than 10 points, but that doesn't appear to be the case tonight.
Doesn't appear to be the case right now, although certainly Missouri has played well in the last 2 or 3 minutes. They were tied a couple of times, but now they've extended to 6 points and the ball. Important defensive sequence here for the Razorbacks. They can't afford to let the Tigers jump to an 8 or 9 point lead. They're going to get a foul away from the ball. Looks like it's going to be on Bowers, and it'll be a shooting situation.
That's the first foul tonight on Arlen Bowers. And of course, Arkansas over the limit, and so Missouri will go to the free throw line where they shoot the ball pretty well.
One thing, Gary, by my unofficial stats here, I have Arkansas out of timeouts. So if this thing gets down to the wire and you try to stop the clock, Arkansas is not going to be in a real good position to do that. Now, I'm still unofficial, so we'll take a look later. Irvin makes the free throw. Not the guy you want to the line, though, if you're Arkansas, because Byron Irvin, an excellent shooter and a clutch guy, is going to make the big throws at the end.
22 tonight for Byron Irvin, make it 23, and this sellout crowd enjoying an 8-point lead now for Missouri with just over 2 minutes to play. Big possession for Arkansas. They go right down to Credit, who throws up a tough shot. Marks can't get the follow again. And Church comes out of there with it.
They need to back this out, run their offense. Points is not the ally. The clock is right now.
And Norm Stewart's club will take time off the clock. 29 seconds left on the shot clock. This is Leonard, and he's hammered by Marks.
Good penetration that time from the top. Sandbody, excellent passer, saw the opportunity as Leonard takes this strong to the basket, draws the foul by Marks. Miller will come in now. Marks will go out. Marks has done a nice job. Picked up his 4th foul, but very tenacious around the boards and gave a good effort.
Gary Leonard, who has been fairly quiet tonight since he got into early foul trouble. misses the first.
Well, when you get in early foul trouble, it completely takes you out of your game. I mean, he really hasn't had a chance to get in this game and has not played a lot of minutes.
And hits the second, makes it a 9-point lead with 1:30 to play. And it would appear that Norm Stewart's club is breathing easier. Wilson from 3. Good rebound by Miller.
Miller showed you a flash of brilliance there. Nice rebound and a jump hook. Back in the press. They can't call any timeouts to stop it. They don't have any.
Arkansas burned on the press, and Irvin, in going to the basket, picked up the foul. Missouri broke that press fairly easily.
Well, you make a calculated judgment when you break the press and you're ahead at the end of the game. Do you take it in or do you dribble it out? But when you have a player like Irvin, you give him the free hand and let him create and leave the decision on his shoulders as a senior, and he took that right in that time and drew the foul.
Byron Irvin has not missed from the free throw line tonight. He's now 7 of 7. He's had a good second half. And now 4 points over his average. Arkansas trails it by 9. We're coming up on a minute to play. Right to the bucket, Mayberry. The lead's down to 7. Full court pressure knocked away. Off Mayberry. He wanted it, but it will remain with Missouri.
Well, the only way they can stop the clock is to make a foul. With none left, Nolan Richardson saying, hey, let's get